So these are herbs that we're going to put on a turkey today in an herbed butter compound. So this is a sprig of rosemary. I'm going to hold it at the top. Using 2 fingers, I'm just going to pull down the stem and release. And at the very tip, I'm just going to pull these few leaves off and throw the stem away. So that was rosemary. Now we have some sage, and I've just picked these off the bush. I'm going to take the individual leaves. I'm going to make sure there's nothing weird on them, and I'm going to pull each leaf from the stem. The smaller, tender ones you can just kind of pull. That's because I have a good number of them. This one looks a little chewed on, so I'm going to leave this one to the side. I'm going to throw it in my pile of stuff I don't want. Here's again some small baby ones. These are looking a little wilted because it's gotten pretty cold outside. And I haven't watered in a while. And again, these drier ones, I can choose to use those, or I can put them aside. For now, I'm going to put them aside because I've got more of the fresh ones. But I can use that actually as dried herbs later as well. So here we have some little fresh guys. Again, these are small ones. I can just kind of pull at those and get them off the woodier stem. I'm not really sure of the volume I'm looking for. I'm just going to be adding this to a stick of butter. Your higher quality butter, the better. And it's going to go under the skin of the bird as well as on top of the skin. All right, I think that's all of the sage that I need. And finally, we have some thyme. Now, my thyme, I'm not sure what variety it is, but in the fall the leaves turn red, but the flavor is still perfectly nice. These are not dead leaves, they're just red leaves. So they were greener in the spring, and I just use it throughout the year. If it lives through the winter, I'm going to use it through the winter. And I just, similarly to the rosemary, let's see if I can do this in the camera. Just hold the top of one of the stems, take 2 fingers, and peel it down, and you'll see those leaves drop there. And I do that for each of the strings, and then the very tips. I just try to use my fingernails to pull the leaves off the stem. Anything that gets towards the end, I do the reverse, and now you've got most of the leaves from this one stem, and I have more. Oops. The oven's heating up, so again we take the top of the leaves, we just trim down. Oops. Let's try that again. I'm not doing good at camera work today. We'll have to work on that. So we have the top of the leaves. I'm just going to pull until there's new leaves on the stem. And let's do a little bit more thyme. We like thyme in my family, so actually we like all of these. Alrighty, so let's see if I can show you. What we have here is a handful of herbs that I'm going to stick into a stick of butter. And set you aside here. Let's see if I can manage to do this in the camera. So I'm getting a stick of butter and 1, undried herb that I don't have growing in my yard, which we again like with turkey. So we're going to have marjoram that I'm going to add. Just a few sprinkles to my little pile of herbage here. Alright. And let me get a bigger knife. That is not a good knife. Alright. So I have my stick of butter that I'm going to unwrap here. And it's been sitting out for a couple of hours, so it is good and soft. And I'm gonna make a mess of this. No! Sorry, I'm working with a small cutting board today because I have a whole bunch of crap in the way. Alrighty. So with my herbs here, I'm actually just going to chop them kind of like in and with the butter. I could have chopped the herbs on their own prior to slapping the butter down. And it smells darn good. Smells like Thanksgiving. You can chop your herbs in a bunch of different ways. Sometimes I use scissors. Sometimes I use my knife like this. And again, because this is going on the skin and into the skin, I want it relatively fine. So again, I've got a good sharp knife. Oops, I'm rocking. I'm sorry. There you go. Maybe that's better. This happens to be unsalted butter, so I'm going to put a little bit of salt in it as well, just for the texture. And I'm actually going to add a few shallots, which my youngest had asked for. He is a fan of shallots. They give a little bit of a garlic flavor. And there we go. So we've got a good, nice butter mixture. And I'm going to chop a few shallots, actually probably just one, to go under the skin.